This VAWatchdog.org news video is brought to you by Bergman & Moore, LLC. Former VA attorneys now fighting VA for you. Call Bergman & Moore at 877-838-2889 or on the web at vetlawyers.com.
Many of our veterans who expected the GI Bill to pay their college costs are learning the federal government has broken its promises. Benefits are falling far short of what is needed now for a college education, and new efforts to change all of that are running into strong resistance from some members of Congress, the White House, and unbelievably, the Pentagon. Lisa Sylvester has our report.
Marine Brian Knudsen served 3 tours in Iraq. Now that he's home, he works full-time supporting his family and attends college. Yet, like many vets, he found the GI Bill doesn't cover the full cost of his education.
I've got one son, a wife, and I've got another son on the way, and there's no way that I could afford that extra $1,200 a month to go to school.
Knudsen's employer is chipping in to help pay the costs not covered by the GI Bill. Thousands of other service members are not so lucky.
We need an education benefit that makes a promise to our veterans that says, you serve your country and we'll send you to school. We need to build the next greatest generation.
A proposal in Congress would expand the GI benefit to cover a 4-year public college. The legislation has the backing of the Democratic leadership, but it's opposed by the White House and Pentagon, which fears it will make it harder to retain service members, and Senator John McCain, who has offered an alternative bill. But the loudest opposition is from the Blue Dog Coalition, a group of Democrats worried about fiscal spending. Estimated cost, $52 billion in the first 10 years.
As of now, not one single penny of that planned benefit is paid for. In fact, congressional leadership hasn't even admitted that it's a brand new entitlement program.
But more than 300 other lawmakers support the bill. Representative Harry Mitchell says the country will get more than a return on its investment.
For every dollar that we've ever invested in veterans' bills of rights that came out of, for example, World War II, $7 is returned. So we think it's a good program. It's fulfilling a promise that we've made to veterans, and I think that we owe it to them with the sacrifices that they've made.
Now, the Democratic leadership told the Blue Dog Coalition Democrats to spend the weekend looking for offsets, other programs where spending can be cut, and lawmakers plan to bring up the legislation next week as part of the Iraq War spending supplemental. Lou?
Well, this Congress and this Democratic leadership must prioritize, and there aren't many higher priorities than taking care of our men and women in uniform. This should be handled and funded straight away. What are the prospects?
Well, one of the big hurdles here is even if they are able to get this through Congress, and there is tremendous support for this, 300-plus members, lawmakers who support this in both the Senate and the House. But one of the bigger hurdles is the White House, because the White House is threatening to veto, and this is one of the reasons they're threatening to veto the supplemental bill. So somehow they would have to convince the White House. And there is a lot of pressure on the White House to essentially give these service members to pay for their college, which was essentially promised to them, Lou.
Well, I mean, what are the ideas of impeaching President Bush if he were to veto this?
That's a question I think that Congress will have to take up. But I know that many service members out there have been patiently waiting for this college benefit, and they would like to see some action one way or the other, Lou.
I just wondered if it had come up, because it would seem to be, to me at least, an appropriate remedy for that kind of intransigence and failure to fulfill a responsibility to our service members in this country. It would not be the first time they've been failed, however, by this White House or this administration. Thank you very much, Lisa Sylvester.
VAWatchdog.org, the nation's #1 independent veterans website. On the web at VAWatchdog.org.